we have to talk about stuff that upsets us. And we have to normalize our Oscar the Grouch moments and our Eeyore moments and our anger moments because they are part of us and they are part of the messy human experience of being alive. Hello, my beautiful neurodivergent creatives. Welcome back. This week I want to talk about Eeyore and Oscar the Grouch. I saw a great post online about, it just started off like, what even is the point of Oscar the Grouch? And then it blew my mind with the point of Oscar the Grouch. So we're going to talk about that today. The purpose of Oscar is to show children that it is okay to be grumpy. It is okay to tell people to go away. It is okay to have boundaries. It is okay to like things that other people do not like. And you don't always have to rush yourself to see the positive side of things. Like Big Bird is very much a friendly, whimsical guy who will help you get over the anger, the sad, the hurt, whatever. Like he will help you move on by leaning into something different. Whereas Oscar the Grouch will help you process those emotions by telling you it's okay to stop and feel them. And that is very important for children. Oh my goodness. Because yeah, we need to know that. I always remember thinking that Oscar the Grouch was like mean, but he's not necessarily mean. He's not for everyone. You know, he's not people pleasing. He doesn't come alive with the purpose of making other people feel good about themselves. He is taking care of himself. And so if he wants to pick up something that somebody else would be like, that's garbage, why do you want it? And he's like, well, it looks great in my trash can. You know, he's allowed to do that. I'm actually going to look up some clips of Oscar the Grouch real quick to like refresh my memory on his behavior. So I'll be right back. Okay. So I just watched a few clips of Oscar the Grouch, and my favorite one is where he's playing Grouch basketball. And first of all, when you play Grouch basketball, you're playing with a deflated basketball because it's trash, and you are not supposed to get the ball through the hoop.
Oh no, did you see that?
That was a perfect shot, Oscar. It went right in.
Perfect? You call that perfect? That was terrible. Why, in Grouch basketball, you're not supposed to get the ball in the basket.
So he keeps throwing the ball, the flat, not a ball, and it's going through the hoop. And the kid playing with him is like, wow, Oscar, great shot. And he's like, it was terrible. You're not supposed to get the ball through the hoop in Grouch basketball. That's kind of adorable. It's like, what if there was a different perspective? What if there's another way to look at success and mistakes and failure? Kids need that. I'm obsessed with this. And I'm really excited about Oscar the Grouch. I was not ever really like a big Sesame Street kid. I was more like Arthur, Wishbone, you know. So I guess like the slightly older like PBS type programming. I watched Sesame Street a little bit here and there, but it was not like formative for me the way that it was for a lot of kids, a lot of adults even. But I was always amused by the Count and how much he loved to count. Like that just cracks me up. It's like his special interest is counting things. We love it. We love to affirm our neurodivergent vampire besties. And then Oscar the Grouch has always been kind of funny to me, like, because like his catchphrase is scram, you know, like I just watched a few clips on YouTube and like a little playlist of like best of Oscar the Grouch. And he said scram like 7 times.
Scram!
And he's just like, I think I need some alone time. Maybe all day. Like Oscar the Grouch doesn't always want to be with the group. He doesn't always want what everybody else wants. And that's pretty cool, I think. I think that's important to show children because when you are a child, your experience is sort of what you think everybody's experience is. Like, oh, well, I have a mom and a dad, so I assume everybody else has a mom and a dad. And so like when children start to see maybe a friend has divorced parents or a friend has 2 moms or 2 dads or somebody's raised by their grandparents, like they have to be exposed to things outside of their own existence, their own comfort zone, their own worldview in order to like normalize, oh, like there's way more to life than just what I am experiencing in my little microcosm. Not that your 3-year-old is using the term microcosm. I don't know, they might be. But like, this is why children's programming and like PBS type programming specifically is so important because it's modeling stuff for kids, even if they're not specifically like, hey kids, we're going to teach you a lesson today about other perspectives. Like, No, they get in there and they talk about the letter of the day and they do kid stuff like, oh, which one of these is a banana? But then there's also like interpersonal examples. There's conversations. You get fun actors who come in and kids will identify with the different, like, are they Muppets? They're not Muppets, but it's Jim Henson. So are they Muppets? Hold, please. I have to look up if these are Muppets. Okay. He is a Muppet. Oscar the Grouch is a Muppet. Muppets are on Sesame Street. That's weird. Just for a moment, I like the lack of the etymology of Muppet flashed before my eyes, and I had to go figure out what the rules of Muppets were. I'm also not a huge puppet fan. Like often if we are watching a movie with puppets, I'm like a little bit unsettled. But also sometimes puppets are great. Like Grogu in The Mandalorian, I'm pretty sure is a puppet, and awesome, perfect, love it. But I don't know, something about puppets, I don't love them. That's fine. It's great. Oscar the Grouch, very good puppet or Muppet. And like each different Muppet on Sesame Street is like, they have a different shtick. It's almost sort of like Inside Out, which is like a more recent Pixar movie. More recent. God, it was probably like 10 years ago. When did Inside Out come out? 2015. That's fine. Okay. So in Inside Out, we learn, how to feel all your different emotions and the fact that like sadness and anger and fear and jealousy, like these are all part of the normal ecosystem of emotions. And there is a reason that so much kids media focuses on that. And it's because if kids don't learn how to experience and process negative emotions, they will become emotionally stunted adults. Like I am 37. I am almost 38 years old. And I'm still scared to like get angry. I think if I get angry with somebody, they're going to like completely dump me as a friend or whatever. And it has taken me a lot of practice to be like, no, I'm allowed to feel angry. It's just a feeling. Like there's no morality on feeling angry about something. Like anger is an emotional response. And so then I have to work on, okay, well, now I feel angry. Maybe I write about it in my journal, on my morning pages. And then I get to go talk to the person that I'm angry at, which sucks. But every single time I do it and it was safe, it makes it easier to do the following time. Great example. My partner, his special interest is film. He loves films. He loves like cinema critique. He is honestly so impressive with like the things that he knows about film, the way he can like spot what director it is. Like if he comes into like the middle of a movie I'm watching, he could probably clock the director of it if it's not a Disney film, I watch a lot of Disney films. I guess I don't really watch a lot anymore. But the day after Christmas, so my sibling and I hosted our dad for Christmas after like six years of estrangement. And that was a lot. Like, I have journaled, I have debriefed with my sibling, I have debriefed with my therapist, I have debriefed with my partner. And like, it obviously brought up a lot of feelings, like being with my dad around the holidays again after so long of like not talking to him. And like the holidays have always been really hard because it's been a bummer that I don't talk to my parents, that like I don't talk to one brother on purpose and I don't talk to the other brother because he doesn't text me back. Like 1 out of every 5 text messages I send him will get a response. And he always seems happy. He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh my God, it's great to hear from you. Why don't you call me? All right, everybody listening or watching this, let's send a mental note to my brother to have him frickin' call me. Maybe I'll try this week and give him a little Happy New Year call. But like when you don't talk to your family, the holidays are especially rough. Or like holidays after you've lost someone. Like my first Christmas post-divorce was kind of weird, like no matter what the thing is, like your first holiday without a person is tough. And then the subsequent holidays, like there's still a lot of feelings and emotions. And there's so much messaging about the importance of family and love and get the perfect gift for the person who gave you everything. And like, I have a hard time with Mother's Day, Father's Day. I guess Father's Day this year will be a little different. Actually, last year I called him on Father's Day and he was thrilled. Like it turns out it's not taking a whole lot to like keep this relationship going. We talk on the phone a couple times a month, like, and it seems to be like we're both getting a little more comfortable. At first, when like we got back in touch, he like, he didn't say I love you first much at all. And lately on the phone, he's been saying it first. Like, he'll call and leave me a voicemail. And like, he just seems happy to have us back in his life. And, you know, sometimes he still brings up old stuff. And that's something that, like, I think I've decided I'm not going to, like, go rehash the whole past and, like, all of the reasons that I went no contact in the first place. I started this talking about fucking Oscar the Grouch, and now we're here talking about my dad. My dad and Oscar the Grouch have some things in common, TBA. Okay, that's fine. That tracks. Like, part of the difficult decision to go no contact with both of my parents at the time, and I was, like, freshly like 30 when I went no contact with my parents. So it's been a minute. I literally haven't talked to my mom since March 2018, and dad I've been talking to for the past year. I have no intention of talking to my mother again. She did some unforgivable things that I don't want to get past. Like, I am fine just leaving that in the past. But with my dad, I was always like kind of sad and kind of worried about him. And I worried that he like didn't understand that we needed to do this. We needed the space. We needed to figure out who we were when we weren't trying to make our parents happy. And Oscar the Grouch helps kids know that you don't have to always be trying to make people around you happy. Sometimes you get to just be like, I'm in a bad mood, go away, scram, I'm in my trash can. And sometimes you get to be like, I don't want to do it the way everybody else does it. I want to do it this way. I want to do it my way. And treating that like it's normal is huge for a kid. Especially neurodivergent children who probably don't see themselves modeled very often in media. So we've got this grumpy guy who lives in a trash can. And then we've also got, you know, like our preschool age, like Elmo and Zoe and Rocco, the Rock.
Rocco? Rocco's a rock, Zoe! Rocco won't know the difference! Yes, he will!
Don't talk to me about Rocco. Don't do it. All right, successfully prevented myself from doing an Elmo voice to yell about Rocco right there. You should be proud. Please clap. Thanks. We've got Big Bird, who sort of has like Big Brother energy. We've got Bert and Ernie, who are gay. I'm not sure what the purpose of Bert and Ernie were. Like I said, I'm not a big like Sesame Street person. And a lot of like my Bert and Ernie lore has come from Tumblr and Avenue Q. So don't come to me for takes on Bert and Ernie. But I will tell you that Oscar the Grouch is pretty solid. Pretty good little role model there. You don't always want to be Oscar the Grouch, but when you are feeling Oscar the Grouch, that has to be okay. We need to learn that. Perhaps our inner child work this year will include a lot of like children's media and letting the messages from that media like soak into yourself so much that like they go back in time and they kind of start to heal you from the past forward. I do visualizations like that with my clients sometimes, and it's amazing. So maybe we'll do that at some point. But I also want to talk about Eeyore, because Eeyore is also an incredible example of accepting your friends even when they are sad. You know, Eeyore sometimes doesn't want to participate with the group, but they still invite him. You know, we don't leave Eeyore out just because we think Eeyore probably doesn't want to come. We show up to help Eeyore when Eeyore is stuck or his tail falls off or he needs something. We love Eeyore. The characters love Eeyore. Eeyore is part of their community, and Eeyore is somebody who they all show up for, and Eeyore will show up for them, even though Eeyore clearly has clinical depression, okay? Eeyore's not having a good time. Hardly ever, you know? He's like, oh, whatever, man. And to be honest, my dad kind of has Eeyore energy as well. It's tough because, like, my dad's unprocessed emotions from, like, the divorce, like he wasn't processing his negative feelings. He could have really used an Eeyore or an Oscar the Grouch to help him know that it was okay to feel those things. But like his affect became like so flat and so like sad and Eeyore-like that my sibling and I used to like say, I love you as a way to gauge like dad's mood and if he was like okay that day or not, which is not something that is great for children. We're working on that. But like, I think that's part of the reason that when somebody is depressed or like when somebody is having like a really hard time mentally, my nervous system kind of freaks out a little bit. And I'm like, oh God, like, am I in danger? Do I need to make this person feel better so that I get taken care of? All right, that's going on a list for Jared. I see Jared again next Friday. Actually, I'll see Jared the day that this episode comes out because I'm recording in advance. So that's awesome. Just isolated that little nugget of childhood Caitlin lore. But the fact of the matter is that, like, you know, I'll still call my dad, even if he might be bummed out. I'll still talk to him, even if, you know, he's not really in the mood and maybe we don't talk long. Like, if he's having an Eeyore kind of day, he's still happy to hear from me, even if he doesn't have the energy to, like, be excited about it. Just like I can be excited and happy that I saw him for Christmas, even though it was sort of like emotionally heavy to get through those few days, just sort of with all of like the mental and emotional, you know, holy shit, it's my first Christmas with my dad after being estranged for so long. Like that, there's a lot going on in your brain when that's happening. Oh my God, but how I even got on this topic in the first place was that the day after Christmas, when he left and went home, we watched so many Disney movies. We watched Encanto, Moana, and then The Little Mermaid. And I would have also watched Tangled if I didn't start feeling like I had to get up and start moving around because I was just becoming a couch. So yeah, I was like, I need to watch some headstrong daughters live life on their own terms. Again, which is a beautiful asset we have in children's media. Like, stories are how we see examples of ways you could handle things, you know? Like, this has been a struggle for me writing my book because my OCD like had such a hold of me and was like, never make mistakes. You can't make mistakes ever. And so I was trying to write characters who weren't making any mistakes. And I'm like, well, that's a boring story, right? You have to make mistakes. Human life is so messy. And we do have negative emotions and we do have bad days and we do need to just go in our trash can and have some alone time. So like, what is your Oscar the Grouch time? What do you need to protect yourself and make sure that you can show up when your community needs you, or you can show up on a basis that makes you feel like you're contributing to your community, you're participating, but also honors your need to be alone? Maybe Oscar the Grouch is an introvert, you know, and everybody else on Sesame is an extrovert, except Bert. Bert is also an introvert. That rhymes. Great. What else? We got Eeyore, we got Oscar the Grouch, got Disney movies, Inside Out. I guess that's Pixar. But like, we need to see examples of healthy ways to work with our sadness, our anger, our fear, our jealousy. I freaking love that in the panel of emotions in Inside Out, you know, joy is front and center because Riley, I believe, is the main character. You know, when she's a child, joy kind of is the front runner when in a healthy childhood, we hope. But then when you see into her mom's brain, I think sadness is actually like the lead emotion who like runs the show. Not that everything becomes sadness, but that like her sadness is sort of like how everything else fits together. Like Riley's mom sees things like filtered through sadness, but also acknowledges the rest. And I believe her dad's brain is led like by anger. Anger's the chairman of the board over there. But his anger is like a much more sort of subdued anger versus Riley's, where all of Riley's emotions will like go from like chill to 100% on because she's a kid and children are learning how to regulate their emotions. Honestly, Inside Out is a great film. I've only seen it once. I should go see it again. And the second one. I need to see the second one because I haven't. And then I'll probably do another frickin' video on that. I feel like I have more to say, but I can't think of what it is. So maybe we'll just leave it here. Maybe we'll have a little short one this week. Think about it. Think about the characters that you have maybe identified with throughout your lifetime and what you liked about them. For instance, I always loved Cinderella. I liked a lot of orphans. It's the childhood trauma episode. Okay, so when I was a kid, I loved this movie, A Little Princess. It is about a girl whose father like gets drafted into the war or something, and so he like sets her up at this boarding school, and he is very wealthy, and so like he sets up, you know, everything's paid for. She gets her own room, like she gets all the nicest things, but she is not a spoiled brat. She is very kind, very empathetic. All the other girls frickin' love her, except like the popular girls who are mean. You're going to have that everywhere. And then her father is reported dead in the war. And the woman who runs the boarding school puts her up in the attic, turns her into a maid overnight, takes all her things, gives her things to the other girls, like even though they're already bought and paid for. she's like, no, you get nothing now. And then, you know, a plot happens. But like, my God, I watched that movie so many times as a kid. And what that says about me, unfortunately, is that like, I really identified with somebody who had to go become smaller. Like somebody made her less of herself. Somebody said, quit telling stories, quit being creative, quit engendering friendship with the girls. I'm pretty sure engendering is the word I want there. But now I'm doubting it. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to look it up. We're just going to keep rolling. And they don't like that about her. They don't like that she is so authentic and that she doesn't try to hide herself. And so as soon as they can, as soon as like her bubble of protection pops, everybody gets to be fucking mean to her and they get to revel in it. And I loved that film as a child. Take from that what you will. But what about you? You know, I mentioned that I loved Cinderella. I also liked, you know, like The Parent Trap, or like It Takes Two, I think was like a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. I loved anything with like orphans. Orphans, finding out that your parents are different people, finding out that you have a long lost somebody. Like something about me as a child really wanted like the person who really, really loved me to come and take me back. And that's hard because like, you know, I wasn't left with strangers on another planet to hide me from Emperor Palpatine, you know? I was born to parents who didn't have the emotional regulation and coping skills that it took to raise a child with emotional coping skills. And so here I am. And now I'm almost 40 and I'm in therapy and I'm watching Moana after Christmas to cope. It is what it is. What we can do if you, like me, have childhood trauma in your favorite film list. I completely forgot about the example of telling you a time that I got angry. I'm so embarrassed right now. Okay, real time. You have seen me lose and pick up several trains of thought here. So I'm going to finish that story and then we'll wrap up this episode. I apologize a little bit, not a lot, because you know who I am. Okay, so the example of when I got upset and angry was we were watching Brokeback Mountain and my partner was being less than charitable to Brokeback Mountain as he watched it. Sometimes his film critic lens becomes like just criticizing, and we've talked about it. We're working on it. But our roommate also, like, if somebody's going in on like roasting a movie, she will also go in on roasting the movie, like even if she's not really like paying that close attention to it. And so both of them were being really mean to this movie that is very important to me and like really emotional for me. And in the moment, I didn't have the capacity to be like, can you guys please stop? So what I did was I watched the movie and tried to ignore them. And then I went and took a shower and sobbed in the shower, where my partner found me and was very concerned. Like he can hear me crying from across the house if he is dead ass asleep. This man loves me and will check on me if something is wrong. I hope that you get that kind of love in your life because it is next level. Sometimes they might make fun of a movie that you like though. So he comes and finds me in the shower. I'm sobbing. And he's like, what's up? And I explain like that movie is actually like one that I really care about and it really emotionally moves me and it's important to me. And I felt like he was being really like mean and disrespectful to it. And he immediately apologized and was like, I'm so sorry that I did not clock that. Cause you know, normally he can like kind of pick up on my energy a little bit, but he's not obligated to. I know that I also have the option of stating my needs. But he apologized. He was very lovely. And he even said, he's like, this sounds bad, but I love knowing that you can be so moved by film because film's really important to him. And so when a film is really important to me, like we bond over that, you know, it's like a shared interest. And then I was very, very brave. And I also told our roommate that she had upset me. And I didn't do it face to face because sometimes I'm a coward. But I sent her a Discord message and I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I know it's not your fault, but I really love that movie. And I was upset last night. And I just wanted to to put it out in the open, basically. Like, I didn't expect her to apologize. Like, I didn't expect anything. I just wanted to let her know that it happened, because I used to have a tendency, and I'm working on not having this tendency, used to just try and be like, it's water under the bridge. It's whatever. We don't have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. We have to talk about stuff that upsets us. And we have to normalize our Oscar the Grouch moments and our Eeyore moments and our anger moments, because they are part of us and they are part of the messy human experience of being alive. So your options are either be a soulless automaton or be a fucking mess. Those are our two only options. So sorry. You have to be a mess to be alive and to really like engage with the fact that you're alive. You know, your body can operate, but if you are denying yourself, like you're closing off all of your emotions on the off chance that you hit one that you don't want to deal with, like that sucks. That's a bummer. Let's not. So anyway, the next day, my roommate came home with apology chocolate, apologized profusely, gave me like 3 different really nice chocolate bars. And so now we have a joke that like, if she makes me cry, I get chocolate. I have lived with these people. So we bought our house. We closed in June 2021. So we are going into year 5 of living together. This is the longest I've ever lived with anyone. And like, I did not think I was going to make it with this roommate at first, because I didn't know I was allowed to talk about things that bugged me. And so since then, I'm able to be like, hey, you said that you were going to put the leftovers away last night, but you didn't, and they got left out all night. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I took an edible and I completely forgot. And we can just talk about it and move on. Whereas if I didn't have that conversation and she didn't acknowledge, whoops, I did say that, I messed up, I'm sorry, here's my explanation, I would just be like silently resentful. But instead I can just go be like, hey, I'm having an issue. And also everybody can come have an issue with me. It's mutual. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, I'm terrified on a daily basis that one day being honest and open about my feelings will result in me becoming homeless. So far, that has not happened. I'll keep you posted. So far, so good. Talking to the people in my household who care about me has indeed only reinforced that it is safe to do so. Again, I wish you this kind of love. It's really, really, really nourishing and important that even when you are an Eeyore, your Kanga and Roo and Piglet and Owl and Rabbit and Winnie-the-Pooh all still care about you. Did I get everybody? I don't know. I did used to watch Winnie-the-Pooh and Little Bear. Is there a grumpy kid in Little Bear? Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm going to wrap us up now because I'm pretty sure I have finally finished telling you all of the stories I started. Beautiful. Come join us in the Creatives Rebellion, which is my Patreon community starting as low as $3 a month, where you get some bonus Caitlin, you get some behind the scenes stuff about my healing journey, my mental health, my business, stuff like that. And we definitely have a heaping helping of whimsy. Our January workshop is a vision board. Our February workshop probably will be something love themed because I'm a basic bitch and it's Valentine's Day, y'all. So yeah, stick around. We got a monthly workshop. We got cool bonus content. It's great in there. There should be a link somewhere near you right now. All right, see you later.
Don't change your approach and tell you a joke to lighten your load and help you along or sing you a song. Do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do.